Greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here. Every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 3 decades plus of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing and regenerating system. It's designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while that may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really nothing more than just the way the body works. And yes, indeed, it is just the way the body works. That is why we are here on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with, if you have a comment or success story, we love hearing from you on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. 866-735-2470 is the phone number for The Bright Side Ben phone team. If you'd like to start a longevity business for a one-time $30 fee, you can be in business for yourself and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. 866-735-2470, or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products off the website. You can also click on the Join the Team link and start yourself a longevity business and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. It's a great business opportunity if you're an entrepreneur, and it's a great business opportunity if you are health inclined, if nutritional supplement has helped you in your life, if you like helping people. And there are some folks that just like helping people. And now you can make some money while you're doing it. 866-735-2470 is the phone number to call, or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Don't forget to take a look at our Truth Nourishment page, truthnourishment.com. Got various and sundry health products there, as well as GP Walsh's workshop, Chakra Workshop. We talked to GP Walsh on Monday about the endocrine system. Chakra sounds a little airy-fairy, but the endocrine system and the spinal ganglia and the autonomic nervous system are really what the chakras are all about. There's a very interesting relationship between New Age airy-fairy stuff and science. They're kind of related. New Age airy-fairy stuff, crystals and meditation and chakras and all of these ideas that get lumped into a category, not by present company excluded. Probably if you're listening to this radio show, we're not talking about you, but most people will lump these ideas into a category of pseudoscience. There's a guy named Michael Shermer, Schermer, and he talks about him. He's proud of himself as being a skeptic, and he poo-poos a lot of these ideas, but a lot of these ideas and most of these ideas are really based on hardcore science. The science of quanta. Quantum science really sounds like airy-fairy stuff. Things appear and disappear from nowhere. The power of observation, the power of the observer, the power of consciousness. All of these ideas are being verified by science. And when it comes to health, when it comes to taking care of our health, that's probably the most important idea, the idea of the observer effect. The idea that we are responsible for how we see the world. How our bodies show up is a function of how we perceive the world. I remember when I first discovered this, I was about 18 years old, when it first dawned on me the power of perception. And I encourage everybody to take a look at Bruce Lipton's YouTube video, The Biology of Perception. Perception is how we see the world, and how we see the world is not a function of the world, it's a function of us. How we see the world is a function of how we interpret signals that come into us through our senses. And that is so darn important, because that is power. That's where our power comes from. Our power comes from how we see the world, by modifying or controlling or taking charge of how we see the world. We've been talking about the subconscious mind here for the last few days. The subconscious mind is really all of the things that affect our bodies and all of the things that affect our biologies that we're not aware of. And it's relevant. It's super relevant. The power and the relevance of the subconscious mind, how our behaviors and how our bodies show up, is a function of things that we're not aware of. This is why we have to do things, and this is why we do things and have things in our lives and in our health that show up in ways that are different from how we would consciously like them to be. You can't know your subconscious mind directly. By definition, it's invisible. By definition, it's located underneath our consciousness, underneath our awareness, but we can know our subconscious mind, and it's important to know your subconscious mind. If you have skin issues, if you have health issues, if you have money issues, if you have relationship issues, if your body is showing up in a way that you don't want it to, or your life is showing up in a way that you don't want it to, rest assured that there are subconscious forces at play that you're not aware of. Classic example of this discrepancy between what we have and what we want is addictions. I did my moment of truth today on addictions. If you're interested in checking out our moments of truth, they're on our Facebook page, The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben. I encourage you to follow the Facebook page. I try to do moments of truth, or I should say I've been doing moments of truth every day, and I'm going to try to do them every day. Today I did one on addictions. Moments of truth are a little 60 to 90 second video that I do every morning on some interesting health topic. And I've been fascinated with addictions for a long time. I've suffered with addictions. I have addictions, and I know a lot of people have addictions. In fact, according to the American Addiction Center, 40% of Americans are addicted to something. An addiction is a classic example of a subconscious driver that overrides a conscious desire. When you're addicted to something, by definition, you're doing something you don't want to do. What does that even mean? You're doing something that you don't want to do. Well, what that means is you're doing something from a conscious perspective, or you're doing something from a subconscious perspective that's overriding your conscious desire. That's basically what an addiction is. If you're just doing something, that's not an addiction, but it's an addiction if you're doing it, but you don't really want to do it. I used to smoke cigarettes. I tried to quit 1,000 times. Finally, I quit because I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm not a smoker. That's what I talked about today in my moment of truth. The best way to override addiction is to change your identity. Identity is a classic manifestation of a subconscious driver. How we identify ourselves is going to have an impact on our lives, on how our lives show up. Classically, in addiction. If you identify as a smoker, you're going to smoke. If you identify as a drug addict, you're going to do drugs. If you identify as a non-smoker, it's going to be much more difficult to smoke. There's going to be a disconnect between your self-image as a non-smoker and your behavior. If you want to quit something, change your identity, change your self-image. 40% of Americans are addicted to something. It doesn't have to be drugs either. You can be addicted to behaviors. There's work addictions, and there's sex addictions, and there's gambling addictions. And the worst part about addictions, from a point of view, from the standpoint of how we collectively think of them, is that addictions, people believe that once you're an addict, you'll always be an addict. Addiction professionals tell you once you're an addict, you will always be an addict. That's a classic Alcoholics Anonymous AA or 12-step program perspective, point of view, is that once you're an addict, you will always be an addict. And this is exactly the same way as doctors telling you once you have psoriasis, you will always have psoriasis. Or once you have Parkinson's disease, you will always have Parkinson's disease. An addiction professional telling you that once you're an addict, you'll always be an addict is exactly the same as a medical professional telling you once you have a chronic disease, you'll always have a disease. I don't believe that. Because the human body is a regenerating system. So if you have Parkinson's disease, you can begin to reverse it. Likewise, if you have an addiction, you can completely cure it. But you have to address the subconscious drivers. Just like if you have a chronic disease. You'll always have that chronic disease unless you address what's underneath the disease, the causal level. The causal level of an addiction is a subconscious driver of some kind, usually involving identity, and the causal level of a disease, a physical disease, is a biochemical breakdown that's occurring underneath your awareness, underneath our awareness, underneath our bodily awareness. I don't buy the idea that once you have a disease, you'll always have a disease, or once you have an addiction, you'll always have an addiction. Okay, we are back on on the bright side, have you guys been reading about this deadly virus from China? More disempowerment. This idea that you have to wear a mask when you walk around the airport. I'm looking at a picture now of passengers wearing protective face masks as they walk around this airport or train station in China. Chinese authorities moved to lock down 3 cities that are home to more than 18 million people. You know what? You don't have to worry about viruses and you don't have to worry about colds if you're proactive in your life, because we have something called an immune system. The immune system is your body's defense system. It takes care of viruses. It takes care of bacteria, but you got to take care of yourself. This is the idea. This is the main idea that we've been talking about here, that we always talk about on this program. Being proactive in your life, being proactive when it comes to your health. That's what getting on a good nutritional supplement program is about. It's about being proactive. That's what changing the way we eat is about. It's about being proactive. We want to be proactive in our life. This is what understanding the subconscious drivers of our behaviors is about, being proactive. If your life is showing up in a way that you don't want it to show up, whether we're talking about health or whether we're talking about anything else, relationships, money, anything, it's about being proactive, taking care of the drivers. Addiction professionals and doctors will tell us that we're stuck. We have no other options. I don't buy that. The idea that we're stuck, and once you have a chronic disease, you'll always have a chronic disease. Once you're addicted, you'll always be addicted. It's not fair. It's mean-spirited. It disempowers human beings. It disempowers the individual. It disempowers us and puts the power in the hands of the addiction professional or the medical professional. Well-meaning as they may be. I'm not saying that the addiction professionals are doing it intentionally. They're well-meaning, and doctors aren't doing it intentionally either. They're well-meaning. They really believe that you're stuck. An addiction professional really believes that once you're addicted, you'll always be addicted. A medical professional, likewise, the same way. They believe that once you're sick, you'll always be sick. The way I look at it, that's an abdication of responsibility. It's an abdication of responsibility of the patient, who's now absolved of taking control of his or her life, and it's an abdication of the professional, the addiction professional or the medical professional, who's now absolved of helping the patient become better. It disempowers us. It puts the power in the hands of the professional, and it represents an abdication on the part of the professional of really helping us, of really healing us, or helping us heal. The professional is absolved of now helping us become whole. And by the way, whole and health come from the same term, from the same idea. Addiction is separation of self into the addictive substance. We give away part of ourselves to the addictive substance. And sickness is when we give away a part of ourselves to the disease. When you're sick, you're giving away a part of yourself. When you're whole, healthy, you become whole. You're taking it back. You're reintegrating. You're integrating yourself. You're becoming one. This is why in AA, addicts are told they will always be addicts. And it's why people only quit temporarily. Addicts are told they will always be addicts because they've split part of themselves up to the between themselves and the addictive substance. AA and quitters who are only temporarily successful, Alcoholics Anonymous, who Alcoholics Anonymous patients and people who quit, who are only temporarily successful at kicking their habit, are not addressing their subconscious drivers. They're muscling through. And you can muscle through. There are people who muscle through. There are people who quit. I have a lot of friends in AA, and they always tell me, one day at a time, they're muscling through. That takes a lot of work. That's a lot of effort. And that's why when something comes along, like a stressor, a bill or a breakup or a death in the family, people tend to start drinking again or start smoking again because they haven't addressed the subconscious driver. They've muscled through. You can quit with willpower. You can quit with your psychological muscle. But the problem with willpower is it's limited. Willpower can only take you so far. Willpower is a limited resource. But if you figure out what the subconscious drivers are, it's going to be much easier to completely, forever eliminate the problem. Likewise with physical health. You can hide the symptoms of your psoriasis with a steroid cream, absolutely. Nobody may ever know you have psoriasis. But as soon as you stop the steroid cream, or as soon as the stressor becomes bad enough to override the steroid cream, it's coming back. We're all looking really to feel alive like we did when we were kids. That's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for the sense of aliveness. We're all looking to be whole again like we were when we were little kids. The way you do it is to get to the bottom, get to the subconscious drivers. Can't know necessarily what those subconscious drivers are, but you can know by your results, by the body itself. The body itself is the end result of molecular forces that are initiated subconsciously, unconsciously. Our bodies, the specific molecules, the neurotransmitters, the peptides, the hormones, these are the primary control points for all cell behavior. Not the genes. It's not the genetics. The genetics are locked in. The genetics are the past. But the genetics change. Once your genes are there, they're going to be producing proteins. But you can change the genes from the top down. Can't change the genes themselves, but you can change them from the top down. You can change them epigenetically. The genes are the end result of things that are above the genes, epigenetics. We've been talking about the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is a classic example of a bodily function that's beneath our awareness. Autonomic meaning automatic, meaning operating on its own, like the genes. They operate on their own. But you could override the genes, and you could override or change the automatic nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. You could do autonomic training. You can do autogenic training. I have a book called Advanced Autogenic Training and Primal Awareness, Techniques for Wellness, Deeper Connection to Nature and Higher Consciousness, a guy named James Endready. He's got all kinds of exercises that you can do for activating or for changing the autonomic nervous system. He calls it autogenic training, James Endready, E-N-R-E-D-Y. And guess what one of the chief ways to change your autonomic functioning is? Slow, deep breathing, slow, deep rhythmic breathing. SDR breathing is probably definitely the easiest, but it might be the most powerful way to change your autonomic nervous system, to change your automatic nervous system. Your automatic nervous system is like a driverless car. It just goes on its own. We don't have to think about our heart rate. We don't have to think about our digestive system. But unfortunately, if it's being controlled by subconscious drivers that we're not in charge of, subconscious drivers that say that we're a sick person, subconscious drivers that say life is hard, subconscious drivers that say we're an addict, our driverless car is going to function just that way. It's going to function like an addict. It's going to function like a sick person. So where sickness comes from? Sickness comes from autonomic functioning that is the end result of subconscious forces. Subconscious forces involving self-esteem, subconscious forces involving a sense of safety, a sense of meaning, a sense of love. These sound really abstract, but they have an impact. They have an impact on our psoriasis. Our sense of self-esteem will have an impact on our psoriasis, on our heart disease, on our acne, on our cancer. If we're serious about healing, yes, it's true that nutrition and diet and digestion and supplements can all play a very important role, but if we're really serious about getting healthy again, we want to leverage everything. We want to leverage all the aspects of our regenerating system. And if you're not regenerating and you're doing all the things correctly from a physical standpoint, rest assured there are things functioning underneath your conscious awareness, subconscious drivers that are driving the sickness, the addiction, whatever it is that we're trying to get rid of. And that's where we got to address it. All right, we'll be back on the bright side right after this. On the bright side with lines open for you, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products or our true skin health products or health challenges you or loved one may be dealing with, if you have, if you've quit an addiction, I'd love to hear from you. We'd all love to hear from you if you've quit an addictive behavior. I want to hear how you did it. Did you muscle through it? Did you join an addiction group or an addiction support group? And there's nothing wrong with support groups, by the way. They're great. Support groups will get you through anything. Community will get you through anything. It's really important to have support. It's really important to have community. However, if you truly want to quit an addiction, you got to work at it at the subconscious level, just like if you want to quit or if you want to heal yourself from a chronic disease, you've got to address it at the sub-disease level. There's always a source level where things come from, and if you want to be powerful, you got to work at the source. You got to work at the soil if you want to take care of your plant. You can't take care of your plant by spraying something on the leaves. You got to work at the soil level. Medicine and our medical model, our medical paradigm is about working at the level of the leaf. Our psychological healing paradigms are about working at the level of the leaf. We got to get back to the soil. We have to address everything at the soil level, which means we got to be experts in the soil, or at least we have to develop an expertise in the level of the soil. That's why developing an expertise of a psychological expertise, understanding psychology, understanding our own psychology is so important if we're going to have self-actualized lives. I first discovered the power of psychology when I was a little kid. I was trying to deal with a traumatic childhood. So I started reading psychology books when I was a little kid, and I'm talking really little, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, it dawned on me that there's this thing called psychology that affects how our lives show up. As a culture, we are psychologically incompetent. We're not just physiologically incompetent, we're psychologically incompetent. And if you're going to have an actualized life, if we're going to have a fulfilled life, we have to become psychologically skilled as well as physiologically skilled. And that's why I've been talking about psychology and spirituality my whole life, really. But the last, couple of months on this program, really a little bit since I've been doing the program, but hitting it hard for the last couple of months because that's really the nexus of health and the nexus of disease, the psychological and spiritual aspects. All right, 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls here momentarily. From the Journal of Clinical Investigation, cannabidiol exerts SIBO-static and anti-inflammatory effects on human SIBO-sites. SIBO, meaning sebum, skin oils. SIBO-static means it stops sebum. Anti-inflammatory effects on human SIBO-sites. SIBO-sites are cells. Whenever you hear the word site, or the suffix site, C-Y-T-E, you're talking about a cell. Keratinocyte is a cell that makes keratin. Hepatocyte is a liver cell. Cardiocyte is a heart cell. Myocyte is a muscle cell. And a SIBO-site is a cell that makes sebum. Sebum is skin oil. You got little tiny cells that live inside the follicles, your pores. Pores are like rabbit holes on the top of your skin. By the way, pores are permanent. Pores don't shrink. A lot of times people say, what can I use to shrink my pores? You can't really shrink your pores. You can make your pores appear smaller with alpha hydroxy acids. That's the best way. But one of the main reasons why pores get big on the skin or appear big on the skin is because of skin oils. More oils you're pumping through, more sebum you're pumping through, the bigger the pores are going to be. The SIBO-sites are like little tiny cells that live in the bottom of the pore. The pore is like the opening on the skin, and then there's a little hole underneath that pore that's like a rabbit hole. The pore is the opening of the rabbit hole, and then the follicle is the rabbit hole. Follicle has a hair coming out of it. Not all of them, but sometimes it has a lot of them have hairs coming out of them. And underneath the bottom, in the bottom of the rabbit hole, you have cells that are secreting oils. Those are called SIBO-sites. And they're controlled largely by stress hormone. You can always tell if somebody's pumping a lot of stress hormone by oily skin. Sugar will also do it. In fact, between sugar and insulin, which go together, of course, and cortisol, stress hormone, you have the two major drivers of sebum production. And just like we're talking about, there's subconscious drivers to addictive behaviors. There are oil drivers underneath oily skin. Yeah, you can get rid of skin oil with soap and water. You can get rid of skin oils with lots of different things. But if you really want to control skin oils, you got to get to the SIBO-site. You got to get to the causal level. Cortisol is the main way that you get to the causal level. You can use pregnenolone, Pregnenolone, if you want to take care of your cortisol. A stress hormone, if your skin is really oily. Laying off sugar is a great way to slow down SIBO-sites. And guess what? It turns out that CBD, cannabidiol, plain old CBD, which in my mind, the way I look at it, is like a miracle substance. No fashion. It's not a fad. It's the real deal, cannabidiol. Cannabidiol, used topically as well as internally, it turns out, can help slow down skin oil production. And on top of that, it's got anti-inflammatory benefits. Activation of the SIBO-site receptors, SIBO-sites, inhibited SIBO-site lipogenesis. That means fat production. CBD also exerted anti-inflammatory actions. That's one of the main ways it works. Cannabidiol and THC and all these little phyto substances that are found in the hemp plant, and not just in the hemp plant, they're found in oregano and rosemary, various plants. In fact, they're ubiquitous. They're found all over. All plants make a small amount of the CBD substance, and cells are very, very receptive. All cells are very receptive to these components, including the SIBO-sites. And what is the effect of these cannabinoid derivatives? These marijuana derivatives? Yes, I said it. Marijuana derivatives and hemp derivatives. What is the effect on cells? It makes your cells stoned, just like it makes people stoned. It relaxes them. Doesn't make them stupid. It just relaxes them. It slows things down. The endocannabinoid system slows things down. Cortisol hypes things up. Sugar and insulin hype things up. Cannabinoids slow things down. In our culture, we get way too much of the things that hype us up. This is why the cannabinoids are so beneficial, and this is why people like to smoke pot so much. This is why people like THC so much, because they need to be slowed down. Anything you could do to kind of relax and slow down the body is going to have powerful benefits. So what the difference between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system is all about. We're way over-sympathized. We're way over-cortisolized. We're way over-sugarized. Our culture as a whole. Anything you could do to slow the body down. Now, cannabidiol is great. CBD is great. But anything you do, slow, deep breathing, slow, deep rhythmic breathing, the way I look at it is the best way to slow things down. SDR breathing, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Time to hit the phones. Let's go to our friend Shirley in FLA. Good morning, Shirley.
Hi.
What's going on?
How are you here?
How you doing, Shirley? What's up?
I am great. I got just two things I want to say. First, I got the Truth treatments, the hyaluronic acid, the C, amazing. So everybody, please, it's freaking amazing. I just wanted to know. You're not kidding. And how to use them in sequence, the C, the hyaluronic acid, and the mist. What goes
I'll tell you exactly what you do. Let me tell you about that. That's
okay.
A great question. We call that the Truth Trifecta. It's three products. It's the Biomimetic Mineral Mist, which is made with all the plant minerals. It's also got a few other things in there. The Hyaluronic Mineral Hydrator, which has got the plant minerals plus hyaluronic acid, and then my favorite product, well, one of my favorite products, the Truth Transdermal C Serum. We discovered this accidentally. Actually, we got to take a break. I'll tell you how to use them, and I'll tell you the story behind the Truth Trifecta, which, by the way, we have on special now, 20% off at truthtreatments.com. I'll tell you about all that when we come back from our break. Hang on, Shirley. If you're on hold, we'll get to you as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side talking to Shirley. Let me get to Shirley here in Florida. Hey, Shirley, where in Florida are you, by the way?
I'm in Jacksonville.
Oh, I'm going to be in Jacksonville next week.
Oh, what are you doing? Are you doing a tour?
There's a CBD trade show. I have some CBD products I'm going to be talking about.
Oh.
I'm not to the public. I'm just going to be talking to brokers, actually, so I'll get to go to Jacksonville. I'll be at, I'm not sure where I'm going to be staying. Anyway, the Truth Trifecta, you asked about that. It's made up of three products. It's made up of our Truth Transdermal C Serum. It's made up of our Truth Hyaluronic Mineral Hydrator, and then our Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist. What we found accidentally is that when you mix the three together in your hand and then apply it to your skin, to your face, you get an immediate plumping effect. Have you tried that yet? You mix all three together.
I just got it yesterday, and I put them on one after the other. So kind of the same thing, and I was like freaking out.
Yes, they're pretty amazing. Put two in your hand. 2 drops of, I know I keep talking about it and people think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, folks. The stuff is amazing. That's why I call it the truth. No preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, just 100% active and functional ingredients. And you'll know it when you put it on your skin. You need 2 drops of the Truth Transdermal C Serum, 2 little pumps of the Hyaluronic Mineral Hydrator, and two little spritzes of the mist. Mix them in your hand, rub your hands together, blend them in your hand, and then apply them to damp skin. And what you'll notice is an immediate plumping effect, like right in front of your eyes. It'll plump right in front of your eyes, especially effective right underneath your eyes. And then let it set for, 30 seconds, 15, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. And then put your makeup on top of that. You'll need much less makeup if you do it. And ultimately, you're not even going to need any makeup. But when you put your foundation and your makeup on after that, it'll just glide right on, and your skin will be so much firmer, noticeably firmer and plumper, that you're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the truth. So it's called the Truth Trifecta. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Try the Truth Trifecta. Try putting all 3 together in your hand, and then give us a call and let us know how you like it. All 3 together.
Okay, I have one more question. I
yes,
also have the C fat soluble.
Which one?
The one that's in the little. Yes, I have that. When do I use that?
Night treatment. That's a really, you can use it whenever you want, but I like it as a night treatment because it's heavier.
Okay, good. All right,
okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, God bless you. Have a beautiful day, Shirley.
Thank
you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's see here. Go to Joe in Tennessee. What is up, Joe? How you doing? Good morning.
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for calling. How can we help you?
Yeah, I'd like to know, would retinol A help with discoloration of dark?
It's the best. The best. Retinol and retinoic acid are the best skin lighters. I'll tell you why. If you go to a dermatologist and you get and you need a skin lightener, you'll probably get something called hydroquinone. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have. I used that on my eyebrow, and it burned, and it didn't.
Yes, I was about to say it's nasty stuff. It's so nasty that it's, number one, it's a prescription drug. Number two, you can only use it for like a month or two at a time, then you have to stop using it. It kills cells. Now, in smaller doses, it doesn't have this cytotoxic or cell-killing effect, but it works by disrupting cell chemistry, which is never a good idea. It disrupts enzyme systems inside a cell that make pigment, and then ultimately it actually kills the pigment-making cell. Not good. If you drank hydroquinone, you'd probably die or have to have your stomach pumped. It's that toxic. It's awful, awful stuff. Then when you're formulating with it, when I formulate with it, you got to be very careful about instability. It breaks down very, very quickly. I used to have to make really strong concentrations of hydroquinone in my compounding pharmacy, and I used to wear a mask and gloves, and I put it under the hood, which is a device that sucks up fumes, because I didn't want to come near it. I didn't want to breathe it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't even want to look at it practically. But people were rubbing it on their skin on a prescription basis. Now it does work, you know, because it's pretty strong stuff, but you don't want to mess around with it, in my opinion. The best skin lightening strategy, topical skin lightening strategy, is going to be retinol and retinoic acid. Retinol turns into retinoic acid. If you want to get a prescription, get the retinoic acid. By the way, retinoic acid, also known by the brand name Retin-A, is vitamin A. That's what retinoic acid is. Retinol is a pre-vitamin A, a precursor to vitamin A, meaning it gets turned into vitamin A, which makes it not only much more gentle, but available over the counter. So if you're looking for skin lightening, number one, the best skin lightener and the most non-toxic skin lightener is going to be retinol and retinoic acid. But here's why I really like retinol and retinoic acid for skin lightening, because unlike the toxicity that you get with hydroquinone, you're going to get anti-aging benefits. You're going to make more collagen. You're going to have smoother, softer skin with retinol. So not only do you get the benefits you're looking for, you get extra benefits. This is the beauty of nutrition, as we've said so many times. You don't just get the benefits you're looking for, you get extra benefits. So you use your retinol, Truth Retinol 5% gel, which has the most retinol you're going to find over the counter. You use your Truth Retinol 5% gel for anti-age or for age spots, and you get anti-aging benefits. You get anti-wrinkle benefits. You get smoother, softer skin as well. You get it in a non-toxic form. And if you use our retinol, not only do you get 5% and 1%, two super high concentrations, but you also get the skin's second most important skin lightener, and that's vitamin C. I put 25% vitamin C, fat-soluble, stable vitamin C in our retinol, unheard of. Not only are our concentrations unheard of, but the cofactors that we use are also unheard of. There's no retinol, high concentration vitamin C's anywhere except for truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Folks, I am very serious about skincare. I take my formulations very seriously. And if you're using a product that's not made by somebody who takes skincare very seriously and formulations very seriously, you're probably wasting your money. Truthtreatments.com, we've got all kinds of specials, by the way. I hope that helps. And by the way, age spots are a sign that you're probably pumping out too much cortisol or estrogen. You shouldn't have age spots. Remember, we're talking about the causal levels, the reasons behind the topical manifestations of our skin. And yes, you can do great things with retinol and vitamin C for skin lightening, but I'd be working on cortisol and estrogen as well. Does that help, Joe?
Yes, so should I go on your website, the TruthTreatments.com?
Let me tell you what to do. Get the Truth Retinol 1% gel trial size, or 15 ml half-ounce size. Use that and then switch over to the 5% once you've gotten your skin used to the 1%. And then also get the AHA Energizing Exfoliator and use that 3 or 4 times a week. Again, you'll not only get benefits for skin lightening with the AHA Energizing Exfoliator, but you'll also get anti-aging benefits too, and you won't have to deal with any preservatives or excipients or fillers or nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. AHA Energizing Exfoliator and Truth Retinol 1% gel, and then graduate to the 5% gel. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks for calling. All right, let's go to Mark in Alaska. Good morning, Mark. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thank you for the show. It's always very informative. And
Thank
I tell
you.
all my friends who listen to you, listen to your YouTube videos, and about longevity.
Thank
Anyways,
you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I got kind of a general question, a specific one, but it's just related to soy. Should we avoid? It seems like everything I hear we should avoid soy as much as possible. But then soy lecithin, I usually use that in like a shake or something, but should we avoid soy?
You know, here's the deal on soy, okay? First of all, it's GMO, so let's get rid of that. So we'll say non-GMO soy. Let's just talk about the soy plant. The GMO part is a big problem, so go non-GMO. Soy has some tremendous benefits, but it does have some phytoplant, meaning estrogenic properties. So it has a little bit of estrogen activity, very little bit. It's a weak estrogen. So it's not like you necessarily want to avoid it, absolutely, but if you're having problems with estrogen, or if you're a guy and you're worried about too much estrogen, go with the sunflower lecithin. You won't have to worry about the soy. But I don't like demonizing soy so much. Yes, the GMO is a problem, and the phytoestrogens can be a problem, and there are enzyme inhibitors in soy. So it's not a perfect food, but it does have some tremendous protein value, especially if you're a vegan or vegetarian. So I hate to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Just use little bits of soy if you're going to do it, and go non-GMO. And then also, as far as lecithin goes, you're not really going to get a lot of the soy in the lecithin because the lecithin is a part of the soy. It's not the whole soy plant. But just to be absolutely positively sure, sunflower lecithin is easy to find, and you might want to go the sunflower lecithin route. All right, but lecithin is amazing stuff, Mark. Kudos to you for understanding that lecithin is absolutely one of the most amazing things you could put in your body. Phospholipids, great for your brain, great for your heart, just amazing stuff, great for the digestive system. Got to go, Mark. Thank you so much for your call. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. And that is it. That's all the time we have for today on The Bright Side. Thanks for listening. Our Truth Skin Health products are all available at TruthTreatments.com, longevity products at BrightSideBen.com, PharmacistBen.com, and CriticalHealthNews.com. And take a peek at our health products at TruthNourishment.com. Thanks, Robert, for setting that up. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.